Hello everyone, this is Satya Prakash. Welcome to my channel. This is C Sharp interview part 1. In this video, I'll discuss what are the difference between private constructor and shield class in C Sharp. So both of these class is used to stop the inheritance in C Sharp or OOPS feature. So how to do it? I'll show you using Visual Studio. So guys, so this is Visual Studio. I have created one C Sharp console application, that is C Sharp interview part 1, and here one system namespace. This is the namespace C Sharp interview part 1. Here I have declared 3 classes. Okay, class user 1, and so here I will show you that is implementation of private constructor and shield class. So for constructor, I have used 3 types of constructor. One is private constructor, one is public constructor, and one is parameterized public constructor. Okay, so first of all we'll discuss about private constructor. So here I have created one class user1, and this is the private constructor of using the same class name, that is user1. Okay, and this is the message of private constructor. So constructor, how to define, that is the same name as the class. Okay, and if the constructor is used with private access modifier, that is the private constructor. So same way I have created one more class, that is user2, and it has a public constructor user2, and it has the message is I am public constructor. And same way I have created one parameterized public constructor, that is class user3 is the class name, and this is the some static properties of that is string name and location, and this class has a public constructor of 2 parameters, that is I am passing string A and string B, and these values we need to assign to name and location. So inside public parameterized constructor, I have assigned this A value with name and B is for location. Okay, so this is all about the constructor, including private constructor, public constructor, and parameterized constructor. Okay, so here I have used the shield class. So shield class, you can see I have created one shield class. It is with a shield type. Okay, shield class name is paint class, and inside I have created one more public method of integer type add, and it is use the addition of 2 values, int x and int y, and the return values x plus y. So inside the class program, this is the main method, is the entry type of console application, and here I instantiate the private constructor. Okay, so you can see I try to instantiate the user1. Okay, I need to mention here it as user1, because user is there is no class in user1. Okay, so for user1 I have private constructor, so I need to instantiate this private constructor, but I unable to instantiate the user1 class because it has a private constructor. So if you hover your mouse on this error, you will see user1.user1 is inaccessible due to its protection level. Okay, that means this private constructor cannot be instantiated. Okay, now we'll check for, so I need to comment this one. So first we'll check for whether this class can be inherit or not. So I'll use this class member, and I need to inherit from user1. Okay, so we'll check. So we cannot inherit. So you'll see here user.user1 is inaccessible due to its protection level because it has the private constructor, so that we cannot inherit or instantiate the private class because who has the private constructor. Okay, so same way we'll check for public constructor. So guys, here what I'll do, I try to inherit the pub class from user2. So class member user2. Okay, and we'll give the bracket. So there is no error I'm getting, right? So we can inherit from the public public constructor, who has the public constructor. So this class has the public constructor, so that I can inherit from this class without any error. Okay, so I already have shown you private and public constructor. The same way I'll check for shield class. Shield class can be instantiated but cannot be inherited. So how to check? So class member, and I need to inherit from this paint class. So paint class, okay. So guys, here you can see so I need to save these changes after doing this. So see, here I'm getting error, member cannot derive from shield type paint class, so that in shield class we cannot be inherited. Okay, so that way we can check. So guys, here after creating this class and its private constructor, public constructor, and public parameterized constructor, and one for shield class. So here I already have shown you that is I cannot instantiate the private constructor because due to some protection level, but here I can instantiate the public constructor. Also we can instantiate the public constructor with parameterized by passing the parameters. So here I have for public parameterized constructor, these have some two values, right? Static properties, string name and string 2, and this is the user 3 constructor. It has two values, and I am passing these values to name and string. Okay, so here you have noticed one thing. Okay, now the private constructor won't allow to create an instance of for that class, but here we are accessing the class properties directly with the class name. So for public constructor, right, it is because the static properties, due to the static properties, so it won't allow to access the instance name. So we can directly access this static properties using the class name. Okay, because see here public parameterized constructor is the static properties, this class, and public constructor has two parameters. So we have assigned these values here. So the static properties won't allow to access the instance name, so we can directly access this properties using the class name itself. So for that reason I instantiate the public parameterized constructor. Here I have passing the values. For string A is Satya, okay, and this for string B is Prakash. So console.writeLine, instead of using this instance name, I can access this static properties using this class name itself, user 3. Okay, so for shield class, here the shield class, right, paint class. So I can instantiate the shield class. So this instance name is PNT class. So I need to add these two values. So this is the integer type of total, and using this instance of shield class, I can access the method add method here, and passing these values of add method, that int x is 4 and int y is 5. And console.writeLine, total values I need to add. So total.string, and after then console.writeLine I need to mention. So here we need to check the output of this public constructor and public parameterized. One is public constructor. It will show that I am public constructor. Okay, private constructor output will not show, because for private constructor it won't allow to instantiate the class. So first of all, it will show the output for this I am a public constructor. Here I am mentioned, right? And second output should be for public parameterized constructor for here. So here I can see the output as Satya Prakash. Okay, and here for shield class, the output will be total value in shield class equal to 9. Okay, so 4 plus 5 equal to 9. So here we need to check the output here for this public constructor, public parameterized constructor, and the shield class. So here you can see the start button here, so we need to click here. So guys, here I can see the output, right? As I told you, for this user to public constructor, the output is I am public constructor, and for this public parameterized constructor, the output will be Satya Prakash, and for this shield class, it will add these two values 4 and 5, and it is showing the output total value in shield class equal to 9. Okay, so guys, in this way we can stop the inheritance feature in OOPS or C# using private constructor and shield class. Okay, so there is important points I also have mentioned in my sheet. Before that, I need to mention few points for this private constructor. So this private constructor, the class cannot be inherited and cannot be instantiated. But for shield class, the class cannot be inherited, but it can be instantiated. And there is one more important point: if there is static properties, and we need to pass these properties to our constructor. So instead of using its instance values of this class, we can access this static properties directly with the class name, because the static properties won't allow to access the instance name. That is the private constructor and public constructor. Okay, and the shield class is, so this shield class is used to restrict the inheritance feature of object once the class is defined as a shield class. So this class cannot be inherited, but this class can be instantiated. Okay, like here. So I already have shown you that if you derive a class from shield class, you will get an error, right? I already have shown you here. So why shield class? So the main purpose of a shield class is to take away the inheritance feature from the class user, so they cannot be derived a class from it. So when you have a class with static members, but usage of the shield, it is the best usage of shield class. For example, if there is a namespace like system.drawing, and there thus under that namespace of that drawing or any reference, there is two class, pens and brushes. So both has the static members, that is the pens.blue or brushes.blue, right? In the real time we can implement for the drawing purpose in C#. So when you design a class library and want to restrict your classes not to be derived by developer, then we need to use the shield class. So guys, that is the most important differences between the private constructor and the shield class. I have added some additional things like public constructor and public parameterized constructor. Also, in that one class we can use two constructor, one is private constructor, another one is public constructor here. But as for the better understanding, I have created 3 separate classes, and inside I have use the 3 different constructors. Okay guys, so this is the important interview questions you will face in as a experience and as a beginner. And system test they have given, you just write this code and execute this code whatever I shown you from step by step. Okay, so I already have shown you this output after implementing the code, so I need to stop the debugging and I need to show you that some points here. So guys, here whatever definitions and points I have discussed, that is private constructor and shield class, I mentioned these points here. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.